Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Couples Therapy, Season 4, Episode 9.
We are at the finale, guys. Go back and check out the playlist of what we did on each episode. You ready, Blair?
And this is the Showtime show for everybody. Maybe I should have said it from the beginning. Mm-hmm. But definitely, if you watched us, definitely go back and watch the episodes. Mm-hmm. It's a really good show on Showtime. It's a good show. And there's a lot of other seasons. I mean, we're in Season 4, so check it out.
And we're not going back.
Right. Okay. So we start with Mitch and Eliana.
Yeah.
Mitch says, basically, you want a slave.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about how she describes love or values love as what people do for her.
Mm-hmm.
Eliana says no matter what she says, she's going to be a bitch, so she'll be a bitch.
This is interesting. The dynamic is very interesting with these two.
And that's just kind of like the prelude to the episode. So we're actually going to go into Rex and Joey now and get back to them. Mm-hmm. So they got back from Vegas. Joey says that they got into an argument. This vacation was not like the last one. Mm-hmm. He wanted to see a video of himself from earlier in the day when he was falling down some rocks on a hike that they were going down. Yeah. Because it was just something funny and cute. Joey wanted to watch it later since they were having a dinner. It was like a romantic environment. Mm-hmm. Rex just thought it'd be funny. It would lighten the mood. He feels like Joey still isn't allowing him to try things his way.
Hey, dude, you know what's crazy about that? I literally just said last episode, right? When you're done with the vacation, there's no bear chasing you. Yeah. When we're not praying for each other on your playing field, can you still give me what I want or give me my desires or just hear me out? Mm-hmm. I just want to watch the video. I can't watch a video.
She's like, it's just not the right setting. He's like, but sometimes things cannot be right, but still be fine.
Exactly.
You know? And Joey reflects and she says, you know what? I'm doing the exact same thing my mom did to me. When she was growing up, she wanted to make her own mistakes. And her mom was very overbearing and overpowering about the decisions and choices that Joey could make. She sees that she's repeating it with her husband, and now she realizes it.
I'm happy you realize that you was being a bad person. I'm happy. And sometimes therapy is just for you to have your own epiphany. You get what I'm saying?
So Orna is talking to her colleagues, and they're discussing how when you give up a loved one because they're still not talking to the mother, there's a move to try to internalize that person so that way that they're still with you. Joey says that they were in a bad place back in November, and she felt like it could have led to divorce. Yeah. Well, Rex didn't think it was going to lead to divorce, except for the situation with the mom. In his mind, he had this mindset of a Disney movie or some type of fictional movie to where he thought the guy would come in and just make everything better. I would go to the mom's house and just be persistent, and then I would eventually get her to change her mind about me. But he's just yeah, but all that's fake. Joey says that she's never seen him talk so much, and this is a lot of progress. Orna points out that it's the same for her, too, that she has her own thoughts and feelings and things that she's letting be heard as well. Yeah. Joey is glad that they hit their 1-year milestone in their marriage, and she says that she can say that she's happy about it and she has no regrets.
Yeah, and Joey, even though I called you the villain, if you really listen to him, you would actually hear his heart for you and even your mama. He thinks he's a hero. And he has this idea that one day I'm just going to keep persisting and keep going over to the mother's house. If she don't, knock me off and things like that, I'm going to keep going. And then next thing you know, things will just be right. This is what he thinks of you. You get what I'm saying? And you actually been hurting yourself, actually, from experiencing Rex in his whole totality. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel the same way. And even just the small, and that's, I think, that a lot of people, when you're in relationships and things like that, the little things matter. And with him wanting to just watch this video with her so they can laugh, I mean, I'm not going to, I'm going to paint a picture that they was probably having a boring dinner, okay? Yeah. And the Vegas trip was not as fun as the other trip. So he was like, you know what? This is going to be funny for us to talk about and laugh over. And she shut it down. So I'm just allow people the little joys in life, don't be so hardwired that people can't have fun, and I think that's what Joey had to come to realize. Yeah. And I'm glad that she had that epiphany.
Facts.
So we move on to Eliana and Mitch. Eliana says that when he came home from work, it felt like he came home and wanted to argue. And she felt that he would leave at any moment. Mitch reassures her that in their arguments, he never wants to leave. It wasn't since the last time he left that he wanted to actually leave. He says at this point, he just needs space. Like, he just wants to go in a different room and just like be on his phone.
Yeah.
Well, Eliana says that in those situations, she goes into people-pleasing mode or she goes to burning the house down. She'll clean in an effort to people-please, which is similar to her dad, who did that when her parents would be in arguments. She does it as a way to be useful.
Boy, he lucky, boy. I make you mad every day if you go clean every day. Jeez.
Orna connects the dots for them in the way that she says that Eliana talks to Mitch about how useful or not useful he is. And you hear her talking about this, but she feels this way about herself as well. It's not just you. Mitch understands that she's not trying to make a slave out of him. He says that it makes sense that she explains, now that she's explained where it stems from.
What are your thoughts on them?
My thoughts on them, I appreciate that they have better understanding.
Yeah.
But I hope that it changes to better actions.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much kind of where I'm like. I'm like, great, we get it, but can you not tell him he's worthless?
Yeah, please. I think they need, and this may be too simple, they need practicality, some more practice on just living together.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you operate when things are tough in the house? If you're so used to, like, saying, go to your mama's house, or he going to his mother's house and things like that, that's like a reset. So you really never progress past that stage, past that block. You really never know how to maneuver those waves when it come.
Yeah.
So I think they just need practice on them really getting to know each other when they live together, and without one person leaving, the other person, you know what I mean? Just it just seems like they don't have enough practice of knowing each other. But now they have the tools to where it's like, oh, she don't think highly of herself the same way as she don't think highly of you. So it's like, now that he knows, I hope, to your point, that they use the tools and they actually notice it besides hurting each other.
Right.
You know?
Where to Aryn, Lorena, and Josh, Lorena has fear of the floor dropping from underneath her.
It's possible
that she could lose the relationship because Aryn or Josh would want to end up closing their relationship. Aryn says that she'll never veto Lorena, and Aryn says that she's been in dynamics to where she has been the third person on the totem pole, and she and Josh don't have that veto situation when it comes to their relationship. Aryn asks basically a situation that is more likely to happen is if we decide to move. And Lorena tells them, well, I wouldn't tell y'all you can't move if that's something you wanted to do. To me, if they decide they want to move, I feel like that's kind of a step in closing the relationship.
Number one, I don't believe nothing Aryn saying out her mouth in this situation.
I understand, like, he could still keep ties with Lorena, but it's still kind of making the hierarchy that if Aryn moves, Josh moves. It's not that Josh has an independent decision on whether or not he moves.
You're right.
So
like, I feel like Aryn keeps saying things like, you know, I will never veto you, Lorena, but they have plans to move to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like...
And you're not included in those plans.
Exactly. Are you saying, like, you won't veto it as in, like, you won't say the word veto? But your actions in other ways shows that Josh is the priority, you know?
Well, Orna says, you know, she supports poly, but it's hard. There's a lot of ideology, but it muddles people's actual feelings. You can say something, but then actually mean something else. Yeah. And Aryn agrees and tells her that I do want to feel special, even though we talk about not being in a hierarchical relationship. You want a hierarchical relationship, but you want to be at the top. Exactly. Like, so say what you mean. It's basically what Orna's saying. It's like, y'all be lying to each other. Orna tells him that, you know, those types of things are going to continue to happen about saying and doing basically opposite of what's actually true. Lorena is now seeing the ways that she has played into their dynamic by trying to rely on them to define her relationship with Josh.
Like I said, break up.
Yeah.
That's what y'all need to do. Break up. Yeah. And truth be told, Aryn should break up with Josh. Josh should break up with Aryn too. Because I think Aryn only sees the value in Josh when his attention is on Lorena. When it was just y'all two, see, that's crazy. When it was just y'all two and you just talk about how you want to feel special and things like that, you come over here talking like, I really want to sleep with that guy over there. Look at that piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like you had the opportunity to feel what you wanted to feel. But now that you on the other end of it, now it's kind of like, well, I would never veto it, but Josh, we moving in 2 weeks. Yeah. It's like, I don't believe any of y'all. I think y'all should break up.
Mm-hmm. Now we get to Alexis and Casimar.
Yeah.
So Alexis was gone for about a week, and he missed Casimar. He sent him a really nice text talking about he wanted them to have kids, and he wants to get married, and he wants to be a better version of himself, so that way they can have those things together.
Okay, Alexis.
And Casimar thought it was really nice, but he does make the note of saying he doesn't ever say all these things to me in person, though. Alexis tells Orna that, Alexis says, Orna, you've talked to me about how I'm ready for pressure. I'm ready for a challenge. He did listen. And to him, the pressure kind of feels like faith and love. He says it's uncomfortable, but it might be a good kind of pressure. He is a bit afraid. And they talk about how Casimar wrote a chapter in their book that they're writing about their traumas. That was really kind. So Casimar wrote about the power dynamic and about how Alexis wants control because he feels safe. And Casimar is thinking maybe he's too complacent and lacks a sense of urgency. But to Casimar, that's just him being at peace. Casimar feels that he can show Alexis what peace looks like, and he can remind Casimar that he doesn't need to feel shame in wanting more. The book is a guide to love a survivor because you're going to love him anyway.
Yeah.
Alexis, his mind, they ask him what he thinks about it, and then he's just kind of like, his mind went to a negative space.
Pretty much. At one point, I thought he was crying to it. Like, at first he was listening to it, and he got emotional about it.
He was like, but he said, like, I'm thinking, like, I hear that, but X, Y, and Z. And at first I didn't get it, and then I was just like, oh, but all the other stuff. And Orna is just like, you could just appreciate something kind. You could just accept the gift and just let the gift feel good.
Give yourself permission to feel good sometimes, Alexis.
And Orna says that they have the tools to keep going, but they're going to need long-term support, is what she feels for them. And basically for all of the couples, they have to be mindful of what Orna asks in the sessions and take the time to ask themselves those questions in their relationships in order for things to work out well for them. Orna says, to keep that as a tool when they complete treatment, to think of what would Orna say or ask.
What would Orna do? Right? What is your thoughts overall with the couple? Let's go one by one. Will Alexis and Casimar stay together?
I don't think so.
Ooh, I think Casimar already left him. That's my fear. I think Casimar already left him, right? It may take years for it to actually come to, reality, but I think he already left him.
Yeah. I think there's only so much understanding you can do to where you're just like, I can't out understand somebody's actions. Like, true. I just can't allow you to treat me any type of way. I can understand you. I can have empathy for you, but I can't be underneath this regime. So
Rex and Joey,
I think they'll stay together.
Yeah. I don't think Rex is man enough to go for a divorce.
No. And Joey will, if she changes, that'll be great. And if he speaks up for himself more, that would be great as well. But I can really see them falling back into the old patterns and Rex just not wanting to shake, what is it called? Like rock the boat.
Yeah, rock the boat. He just basically go back to his regular.
And there's plenty of relationships and marriages where the guy is just like happy wife, happy life. And I feel like that's what their dynamic is, but he's not happy.
Yeah.
But he's just going to be unhappy and deal with it. So
will the mother ever accept him?
No.
Me neither. I don't think so too. I think you just got to wait her out, brother.
Yeah.
I think you just got to wait her out.
Okay. If you know, what that means.
Mitch and Eliana, I think her name is how you say it.
I think they're going to stay together.
That's the thing about it. I was so confident they was going to break up. But I think she really do love him. Yeah. I think she love him, and I think he wants to be loved. Yeah. Right? But not in her way. You know what I'm saying? A little bit softer. Unless Mitch actually, like, I still think he's a man-child. Yeah. But as long as he's in the house and as long as he is being honest and stop lying to us and do his part, I think you would chip away at that hard shell of hers.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for them was being apart.
Yeah.
And her wanting him to show up more.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, if you're not living with your partner who's also the parent of your child,
Mm-hmm.
like it's going to be hard for them to show up the way that you do.
Yeah.
And I think she was constantly comparing him. I do all of this. Why aren't you doing this? It was like, well, you live with the baby, so
Exactly.
you really do have to do more. So I think that now seeing him live there and like you said, putting in the effort and actually showing up every day, I think that will help her see that he's actually putting in the work. So,
and of course, Aryn, Josh, and Lorena.
They are going to be broken up.
They need to break up.
And I'll say they might be together for 5 more years, but this is not going to last into their 40s.
No,
Sorry.
It's nasty work for me. Anything else?
That's all.
Listen here. Thank y'all for following us throughout this series. We are doing other shows as well. We are doing Love Island if you're a fan of that. We're doing Love and Marriage Huntsville if you're a fan of that. Even the Kardashians, which Blair's a big fan of.
And none of y'all are.
And things like that.
But that's okay.
But most likely you will see an upload from this channel every day because that's how the shows go with Love Island and things like that. Come aboard. Even if you don't watch the show, Blair does a great job giving a descriptive of it, make it seem like you're watching the show.
Yeah,
she really do a good job with that. Y'all be good. Subscribe, like, share, comment. We see y'all later tonight.
All right. Bye.